Hello everyone, how are we all doing? I feel like I haven't spoken to you all in ages. Up here in the mountains, the fall season is officially upon us, which means the mornings have been super foggy and the days have been full of rain. There's been a deep chill in the air, and I feel like the snowy days are almost here, so I'm just trying to enjoy these last days of fall before it gets unbearably cold. This month, I harvested the last things from the garden before we had a deep freeze one night, and everything basically just died. And then last week, we had a big snowstorm high up in these mountains, and now we're covered in snow, and somehow an entire month has passed since I posted my last video. So I'm going to tell you all what I've been up to this past month. I'm drinking a warm coffee and it is so chilly outside. Oh my gosh. It's raining right now, but it's like a couple degrees away from snowing. Which honestly, I'm loving this colder weather. It's just been so cozy. I've been gone for this past month. I went on a couple of backpacking trips up in the mountains. I really wanted to do these trips before it got too snowy up there. Okay, so almost exactly a year ago, me and my mom went on an overnight backpacking trip to this trail that we had been wanting to do for many years now.
We're here in the rain and I'm getting really wet, but it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's a bit foggy though, we can't really see much. But we ended up having to turn back because of how much rain and potential snow there was. And then we told each other we would go back and do that trail again. And it's been a year now and we are finally getting around to it. How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? I don't know yet.
You ready for this hike? So we woke up at like 4:30 and we're leaving now at 5. Hopefully at 5. What time is it?
I don't know. No, not even. I'm still thinking about it.
We didn't drink any coffee this morning because we were out of beans. So now we're just driving and it's a sad drive. How you feeling?
Well, there's a little snow up there.
Yeah, but it's sunny at least.
I was gonna bring another pair of pants, you know those brown pants that I have that go over these?
Yeah.
But I left them at home.
This time we were specifically watching the weather and making sure we were going on days that had full sun and 0% chance of rain, which was honestly so necessary because even though the sun was out, it was still bitter cold up there in those mountains. And to be quite honest, I was dreading how cold the night would be. How do you feel?
Feel great. We made it to the top. It was perfect. There we go. Now
you look rocking.
I'm so dead. I'm so dead, but I'm so glad that we did it. I feel like I was like hobbling towards the end.
Yeah, I know. That was the hardest hike I've ever done.
Yeah.
We camped in the snow that night, and I'm pretty sure I saw one of the most beautiful sunsets of my life. We were at almost 9,000 feet elevation, and it kind of felt like we were camping on top of the world. The wind was crazy, though. Being on top of that mountain meant we were really exposed to the elements. We had some rain fly troubles, but we basically got it on there. It is such a windy night tonight.
and really cold.
Coldest I've ever been.
Kind of wonder what we're doing, but you know.
Yeah, we should have learned our lesson last year when we had to turn around because it was so terrible.
Well, we're kind of at the edge of a cliff.
It got so windy that night that a couple of the tent poles literally snapped, and we were sleeping with like a half collapsed tent, just like praying all night long that the whole tent didn't go down.
So the tent broke last night. The metal just snapped in half because of the high winds. We managed to make it through the night though. We were considering hiking back down at 2 a.m. But the thing is it was a pretty treacherous hike up here. It was pretty icy. We were nervous to do that in the middle of the night. So we slept with the tent collapsed on us all night long. But I made a coffee this morning.
And then me and Logan drove across the country. We went on this kind of long, crazy road trip. We went to visit some friends, and we went to a lot of random towns and stayed in a lot of random places. We also brought the cat, which was so funny. And I don't know, something about a road trip is such a wholesome experience. We had so much fun, honestly, but it was a lot of driving, and I am so happy to be home. I've been home for about a week, spent the first like 3 days sleeping and reading in bed. I was just, my body was so exhausted. But yeah, we're entering into the winter. Like, it is winter weather now, and I am really excited about it. I feel like my bones have been craving stillness. I thought I was actually gonna be leaving this winter, but I changed my mind. After being gone for a month, I realized what I'm really craving is just being at home and enjoying the quiet winter here and the stillness of it. I really have been craving that, so I guess I'm gonna spend the winter here, drink a lot of coffee, and eat a lot of pie. So something that is really easy to make from scratch is homemade pumpkin puree. All you need to do is poke a pumpkin or squash with a fork like 10 times or so, and then bake it in the oven for about an hour. It becomes so creamy and flavorful, and I feel like it's just such a fun thing to do for this upcoming holiday season. Today I am making a pumpkin pie. We are having a little party tonight because me and Logan have been gone for a while, and now we're home and seeing my family for the first time. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like when we leave our home for a while, it makes us appreciate what we have so much. There's really nothing like the feeling of coming back home after being gone. It's like you take a deep breath and you just instantly feel so happy for everything in your life. So I'm using my homemade pumpkin puree and then mixing that with cream that I made from blending 1 cup of cashews with 3/4 cup of milk. The winter is such a great time to slow down. We do so much throughout the year. It's kind of amazing that nature gives us this time to reflect and just appreciate the small parts of life. I am someone who tends to be constantly moving and doing things, but we all need a break, and taking a break allows us to fill ourselves back up so we can be 100% throughout the rest of the year. Society has organized itself so that we never really get that deep winter rest that I feel like all of our bodies are craving. So I'm making these little crust cookies to put on top of my pie. I saw this idea online and I thought it was really fun. This holiday season, if you want to impress your friends and family, just make extra crust when you're making your crust and then cut the crust into whatever shapes you want. I used little maple leaves, but you can use whatever, and then just bake them for around 20 minutes, and they're so yummy and like really crispy. It gives the pie a nice crisp. It also looks just really festive, and it's kind of an easy thing you can do that takes very little effort but looks really pretty. My family loved this pie so much, by the way. Logan, of course, ate like 3 huge pieces all in one sitting, and he rated it a 10 out of 10. So the other day I was at this vintage store and found this super cute quilt. I saw this idea that really inspired me, and it was like a jacket made out of a quilt. So I thought it would be a fun thing to try and sew myself. After I cut all the pieces, I just sewed them together, and then I added a hem to the bottom and the sides of the garment. I'm honestly so happy with the way this turned out. It's such a fun idea to turn an old quilt into a jacket. The quilt was only $5 and I have so much extra fabric. I think I'm going to make Logan a matching jacket. I've actually never sewed anything for him before, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. If you guys know of any fun patterns to try this winter, please send them my way. I want to really try to improve my sewing skills during this next winter season. The days this month have been getting colder and colder, and it has rained almost every day this week. It is officially soup and bread season. I have tons of potatoes to use up from this year's garden harvest. And honestly, any excuse for me to make a loaf of sourdough, I will take. This has been a strange year for me, honestly. I felt very confused about what I want to do going forward. Feeling a little bit lost, maybe. Sometimes I get a bit sad that I spent my early 20s working so hard, saving literally every dollar I made, and like allowing myself to have zero fun. And then moving to the woods alone, building a house, and then just working for 4 or 5 years now. I sometimes stop and wonder if I missed out on just being young and reckless and enjoying my life. Like all of a sudden my life got so serious, and a part of me wants to just be reckless again. I don't know, like make up for lost time. I had such a strong vision for so long and such strong goals. It felt like I never allowed myself to do anything but work for so many years. And looking back, I was just kind of living to work. I made soup the past like 3 nights. I don't know, I've just been craving it. It's been way below freezing every night. Like 14 degrees last night. Oh, it's just been so cold, and my body is just wanting bread and soup. Oh, that is the kind of holes that you want. Sometimes it doesn't puff that much, and that's always a sad day. I'm so excited to eat this. So, ever since growing my sourdough, I feel like my life has changed so much. Every day, I'll use the discard to make literally anything and everything. This week, for instance, I made sourdough crackers, I made sourdough pancakes, and I even added it to a soup to thicken it. Last night, I fermented this dough all night, and then this morning, I am making some sourdough cinnamon rolls. It honestly blows me away that I can get such a good rise from just the wild sourdough culture. When you have a strong one, you basically never really have to use yeast or baking powder because things will just naturally rise through the process of fermentation, which is also a lot better for our gut bacteria. I feel like we are living in a time where people have such issues with their guts, and fermentation is honestly the elixir to youth. I really believe it. I think that it is one of the most forgotten but most important parts of our food. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all next week. Okay, bye-bye.